Welcome back to another episode of 40 Facts About the 40K Universe. I am your host, Gersh1, and you are watching One Mind Syndicate. Today we talk about a species within the Warhammer 40K world that needs to be a playable race. It is the Loxatl. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. We post Warhammer 40K content every single day. And if you have any suggestions for topic ideas, just comment down below. But with that said, let's get into 40 facts on the Xeno species known as the Loxatl. The Loxatl are a repulsive species of particularly vile and inhuman intelligent Xenos that resemble slimy skinned reptiles. Somewhat larger than a human male, appearing more savage than intelligent, they stay close to the ground on four limbs, ending in wickedly hooked claws. They have broad fanged heads with yellow eyes. Some varieties have been encountered with red pupilless eyes, and a flickering purple tongue that constantly tastes the air. They resemble and act very similar to the ancient Terran predatory lizard, the Komodo dragon. By nature, they are an aquatic race, making them excellent swimmers. Loxatl bounty hunters have been known to lure their targets to large bodies of water, where they will quickly and efficiently capture or kill the individual. Out of the water, their sight, hearing, and sense of smell are impaired. Instead, they rely on their uncanny sense of taste. They use their purple tongues to pick up microscopic airborne taste particles. After being exposed to the air, the tongue retracts, and the tip of the tongue is inserted into the Loxatl's vomeronasal organ, located on the roof of its mouth. This enables them to identify whatever flavors it's just picked up. Because of this reason, the Loxatl can track down almost any target with ease. The more nervous or stressed the victim is, the easier it is for the Loxatl to pick up its taste in the air. This is why many myths state that the Loxatl feed on the fear of their prey. They can often be found working as mercenaries alongside pirates and renegades. Sightings of them have occurred as far apart as the Maelstrom and the Jericho Reach, but they have been most commonly reported operating in the Sabbath World region, in service of the armies of the Chaos Cult dedicated to Khorne, the Blood Pact. Even amongst these organizations, the Loxatl are treated with apprehension, and most cultists do not hesitate to show aggression towards this race, even under their employ. But by no means are the Loxatl weak pawns. They are more than capable of surviving and benefiting from these chaotic organizations. The location of the Loxatl homeworld remains unknown, as are many higher aspirations of the race beyond profit and bloodshed. There is no Loxatl Empire or Loxatl fleet. They are the pure definition of a mercenary race. The Loxatl fulfill the Imperium's worst expectations of Xenos. They are the predatory spacefaring alien archetype, which is why they strike fear in most space travelers, and are part of many space myths and legends. Ongoing efforts by the Ordo Xenos are continuously made to find the point of origin of these loathsome creatures, so that they can be exterminated. All encounters between Loxatl and representatives of the Imperium have been bitterly hostile. Whether this is due to the Loxatl's natural predatory nature or the Imperium's xenophobia, neither side has stopped to ask. To date, the Loxatl have shown no evidence of influence or corruption by the ruinous powers, but they willingly serve alongside the Chaos God's mortal followers and other enemies of mankind, so long as the price is right. Loxatl seem to be driven by individual selfish desires. They fight and hunt for money, technology, and adventure. Their natural biology makes them excellent scouts and trackers, and will sell themselves as such. Their ability to detect vibrations coming from the heartbeat or footsteps of their enemy is the best selling point for a mercenary band. Extended dew claws on their limbs enable them to run across walls or ceilings and climb on any surface. An advantage they fully exploit to strike by surprise from unexpected angles. Their presence is often given away by a distinctive smell of rancid milk and crushed mint, believed to be some kind of chemical secretion exuded by these Xenos when in combat. This may be related to the preternatural swiftness and dexterity Loxatl exhibit, or may serve as a communal warning of some kind. Among themselves, the Loxatl seem to operate in small groups of related kin, led by a single matriarch, possibly the only member of the group capable of bearing young. The group communicates with subsonic vibrations, making it very difficult for humans or other alien species to detect. But even though undetectable by the human ear, The low frequency of these sound waves does cause people to become uneased. Reports of individuals who have survived ambushes by Loxatl have described the moments before the attack as extremely unnerving. Some describe small panic attacks before the ambush occurs. This plays in the favor of the Loxatl because the increased stress on the target's body causes the heart rate to increase and the sweat glands to activate, making them an easier target. Loxatl are normally gray in color, but seem to be able to consciously shift the pattern of scales on their body and color at will. They use this to communicate when in close proximity, but because of their impaired vision out of the water, this tactic is seldom used. Las weapons have been reported to be less effective against Loxatl than solid projectiles, as their hides apparently provide them with a rudimentary form of photochromatic defense against laser emission. No indications have been found of higher organization than the kin-related brood of 3 to 20 individual Loxatl, but multiple broods will work together en masse with a high degree of cohesion. On occasion, a large number of Loxatl broods have used their unique capabilities to cooperatively infiltrate defenses and stage surprise attacks, typically to open the way for a full-scale assault by their employers. The Loxatl seem to possess no starships or starfaring technology of their own kind, and rely on other Xenos for transportation, specifically the Nikasar, Strixus, and the Kroot. This leads to the theory that the Loxatl were discovered before they were technologically advanced enough to venture into space, but were given a technological boost by one of these races. All Loxatl so far encountered have used unique weapons known as fletchet blasters to Imperial troops. These are carried along with the ammunition bandoliers on mechanical armatures strapped to their bodies. The fletchet blaster is aimed and fired by a cybernetic implant analogous to a mind impulse device that has been wired to the Loxatl's brain, leaving all 4 limbs free for climbing at all times. The blasters fire shotgun-like blasts of millions of monomolecular shards that shred through the armor and leave terrible wounds in the flesh. A common Loxatl tactic is for some members of a group to pin down an enemy while the rest climb into positions to catch the foe in a deadly crossfire. And those were 40 facts on the Loxatl race. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, share it with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, whatever social media you guys use. And like I said before, and like the title states, this really has to be its own faction, or at least a playable faction, a new race within Warhammer 40K. You could tie them into an a Chaos Cultist band, or even like Chaos Demons, but I think it would be really badass and it would benefit GW if they can create a catch-all faction, a renegade or a pirate catch-all faction. What I mean by that is, like, you can bring in races like the Loxatl, you can bring in races like the Rakghoul, and they would be mercenaries, or they would be pirate bands attacking the Imperium or attacking other, races for the benefit of individual desires. So they would be apart from Chaos, apart from the Imperium. They would be stuck right in the middle. And I know I would play them just because they would have a vibe like playing the Inquisition, where it's like a catch-all type of race or faction. And it would play very similar to the Tau in the sense that you have multiple races fighting under one army or under one title. So the Tau have the Kroot, the Vespids, and whatnot. Same thing with this mercenary faction, where you would have the Rakghoul, you can have some of the Necromunda hive gangs in there, you can have freebooters, so different units from different races, put them into one faction, and then that would be your army. It would be really good for GW to introduce a faction like this, because it would allow us to utilize a lot of the miniatures that are being placed for the standalone games, like Necromunda, Kill Team, all that kind of stuff. And again, with these smaller skirmish games, I think I would be more interested in playing the small skirmish game if instead of having like an enormous like army mentality where you have the Space Marine company fighting against the orc Wa or whatever. You would just have small little pirate factions fighting against renegade factions, or fighting against small imperial outpost factions. I think a small catch-all renegade faction for Games Workshop would really benefit GW. So hopefully in the future they come out with that. More than likely not. I think most of these creatures come from the Dark Heresy game, and of course that's not even a thing anymore. But yeah, if you guys enjoy this video, comment down below. Let me know what other races within the Warhammer 40K universe that don't have a model or aren't in the actual game you guys would like to see on the tabletop. And this was a viewer request, so if you guys have any suggestions for other topics of Warhammer 40K, just comment down below. But with that said, guys, thanks for everything, and I'll catch you tomorrow. This was Gersh1 with One Mind Syndicate, signing out.